Welcome to today's session hosted by Westernacher Consulting. Before we dive into the discussion, let's just go over a quick housekeeping rules. If you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to type them into the questions panel on your GoToWebinar control panel. We will have a dedicated Q&A session towards the end where we'll address as many questions as the time permits. FYI, this video is being recorded and the link will be shared with all the registrants post-event. Now, let me start with a brief introduction to Westernacher Consulting. So we'll come back to the speakers with over 1,200 experts globally and a revenue of 150 million euros. Westernacher has over 55 years of innovation in the space of digital supply chain. We are 100% employee owned, carbon neutral, and have proudly partnered with SAP for over 30 years. We are pioneers in S/4HANA ERP, EWM, Yard Logistics, TM, finance, amongst other solutions, offering advanced solutions in planning, analytics, and manufacturing. Now, today's webinar is centered around end-to-end digital yard operations powered by WE Yard, which is Westernacher's proprietary solution that enables businesses to simplify and optimize yard operations with minimal implementation effort. Now, it's built to reduce operational complexity and accelerate time to value. WE Yard is designed as a pre-configured and modular package that streamlines check-in, dock scheduling, loading, unloading, and yard monitoring process. Now, I'm pleased to introduce our expert speakers for today. Now, Pankaj Lal brings over 25 years of SAP experience with a strong focus in the supply chain domain. Throughout his career, he has played a key role in driving transformation initiatives for leading organizations across industries such as CPG, automotive, healthcare, transportation, amongst others. He's currently heading the SAP Transportation and Yard Management practice for Westernacher across India, Middle East, and Southeast Asia region. Now, joining him is Emmanuel, a seasoned SAP supply chain professional with over 10 years of experience across procurement, shipping, logistics, and yard management. With specialized expertise in SAP Yard Logistics, he has a proven record of designing and implementing end-to-end yard processes, optimizing terminal operations, and delivering functional solutions tailored to complex supply chain environments. He also specializes in requirement gathering, system configuration, functional testing, and master data management. We are also joined by Teresa, a senior consultant at Westernacher Consulting with more than 5 years of experience. Teresa specializes in SAP Yard Logistics and is focused on optimizing supply chain operations and improving logistics process. So we have a really great set of speakers, and without further ado, I'm going to let the speakers dive into the session. So over to Pankaj. Thank you.
Thank you, Diksha, for setting up the stage and giving the introduction of us. So a very good morning and good afternoon to everyone. Thank you everyone for joining us today. And it's a pleasure for me to welcome all of you for this session. Today we would be introducing our state-of-art SAP-based solution, which is going to transform the way yard operations are managed. So let me introduce WE Yard. But then let's quickly look at why do we need any yard management solution at all. So yard operations are sometimes viewed as only a peripheral or functions in the logistics supply chain, right, across the transportation or warehousing modules. Though it's very critical node, supply chain efficiency, which can significantly influence your overall. It's a point where if you have any delay or inefficiency, operational inefficiencies, or dependency on manual decisions, that can cascade into much larger operational challenges. So today, finding the right yard management solution has become even more complex than ever. The simple reason for that is because every industry has their own unique operational requirement. There are some who deal with automated multi-model yards, which are integrated with IoT systems and other state-of-the-art hardwares, while there are few who are still operating in a simpler environment where they have minimal infrastructure or even can manage with Excel-based or over the phone-based tracking. So now you can see that the traditional tools, what we have, they usually lack visibility and flexibility, or the ease of integration with these kind of tools with SAP ecosystem, like transportation or warehousing modules or other related modules. So we have a pressing need for an intelligent and scalable solution, which can not only overcome these challenges, but can also easily be adopted over various SAP's cloud offering. For example, Rise, which gives a flexible and fully customizable array of solution in private cloud space, or SAP's Grow offering, where it focuses mainly on public cloud-based deployments, which are usually cost-effective, but at the same time, it has very relatively lesser space for any kind of a customization. And that's exactly where our solution WE Yard steps in. Now, let's look at what WE Yard can do for you. It's natively built on SAP platform, and it's a scalable, modular, fully integrable with SAP. And it has an intuitive solution that meets the full spectrum of yard management needs, whether you are in a high volume, multi-site global enterprise, or a mild, mid-bucket customer, mid-market customer who just look for digitizing their basic yard tasks. So WE Yard is just designed for you. Now let's very quickly see that what makes WE Yard different and valuable. Okay, so it supports both simple timestamp based tracking as well as complex event-driven yard systems. It provides real-time visibility into yard operations. For example, who is at the gate, what is delayed, what is dogged, what is next, etc. And it's suitable for both manual or fully automated yards. Apart from its ability to work with private and public cloud, it can also be seamlessly integrated with the SAP warehouse and transportation management systems. It can support and empower your yard operation as well as various personas. So it's not just built for the operation, but even take care of the various personas, for example, drivers, yard operators, etc. And it allows you various functionality, for example, uploading of the notes or documents, or enabling smooth printing of gate passage or other documents and workflows. And it makes it very ideal for manual yard as well as yards having large number of automation. It does have the mobile first kind of design with a very ease of use. So it's not just about moving the trucks in and out, it's also about empowering your yard workforce and creating a well integrated logistics systems. And for advanced users, WE Yard also brings a feature like IoT connectivity or conversational AI or doc appointment scheduling, which can all be integrated seamlessly with your SAP ecosystem. So, and most importantly, of course, WE Yard help reduce the dependency on the isolated tools, paper-based systems, or manual coordination. So it's about bringing the operational clarity, speed, and accountability to a part of supply chain that's often overlooked. So in today's session, we are going to take you through the functional capabilities, a system demo, and real-world use cases and the value proposition of the solution offers. So we are looking forward to your questions, your thoughts, or even suggestions on any additional features or functionality which you believe that WE Yard should be having. So thanks again for being here, and let's dive in deeper. I will hand it over to Teresa now, who will take us through the deeper detail of the solution. Over to you, Teresa.
Thanks, Pankaj. So let's dive deep into key business challenges. So in general, when we are talking about yard operations, so a lot of customers across multiple industries share similar business challenges. And whenever we are discussing with our customers, they used to say that their operations are very outdated. They are still stuck in 80s or 70s and using pen and paper and walkie-talkies. So the entire process itself is very highly manual, highly human intensive. There is no visibility and there is no transparency into which what they are doing in the yard. So these are the main business challenges that many customers across multiple industries have. If you can imagine that if you are running the entire process in an Excel sheet or in a paper, then definitely we will have a lot of efficiency losses. And these kind of operations and processes are highly inefficient. A lot of people needs to be involved, need to spend a lot of time in order to handle a truck at the gate, and we don't know which truck or rail car or trailer is going to come at the yard and which time we don't know, because we don't have a time slot management integrated to it. And even if you have some sort of visibility, it is not embedded into supply chain management, and it is not integrated to warehouse management as well as the transportation operations. So because of this, we are losing a lot of track, we are losing a lot of synergies, and it is from the overall yard perspective. Deriving from the business challenges, I would like to talk a little bit about what it is a customer is going to get if he is going to implement a yard management system. So if we have a warehouse which is having 25, 30, 40 doors or 150 trucks which are moving in and out, so maybe I'm just throwing a number, but it can be smaller or similar. So what is the benefit that I am going to get if I have this yard management system? First and foremost, we would like to cover all the business challenges that I have discussed earlier in order to improve the accuracy and transparency. So gathering the overall process about the trucking and knowing which trucks and which trailers are at my yard is very important because I don't want to get into demurrage and detention charges. It is also important that we should be able to know at which point of time or which part of the process we are losing time. Maybe at the gate, for example. So am I losing time at the gate, for example, because we have lot of validations that we need to do at the gate. Driver license ID needs to be validated, truck license ID, and the product which we are moving inside or which is going outside, that needs to be referred. And then even in today, we have other verification in India that is also need to be verified. So all these things, which if we are doing in a paper or a Excel sheet manner, then definitely we are going to lose so much of efficiency. And if we think all this can be automated in a proper way, then definitely we can increase the efficiency. So that's the relevancy of why we are using yard management system. And then if we also think about enhanced safety and sustainability, so recent days we are more focused on the sustainability because whatever we do in the yard, it will emit some sort of a CO2 in the yard. So the trucks are powered by diesel, and whether it's our own trucks or whether it is external parties trucks, definitely we will see CO2 footprint in our yard. So of course there are some technologies which will be able to minimize the CO2 emission, but knowing entire process and knowing how to handle and reduce the time of doing the process and handling the trucks in a proper way, then definitely we will be able to reduce the CO2 emission as well as we can reduce the consumption of the fuel. So last but not the least, we can see about the reduced costs and cost reduction. So at the end of the day, business case and ROI comes into picture because it's lot about detention and demurrage charges and the margin cost which I have to take care about by reducing the cost reduction. So I should be able to know how many rail cars or the trucks which are inside my yard, and I need to know the topmost the assets which are belonging to some other carrier that needs to be sent out as quickly as possible in order not to get into merge tension, because I may have detention and demurrage charges if we have lot of assets in my yard and we don't have lot of time to keep it inside our yard and do the processes. And also, as I told you earlier, we need a lot of people that are involved into these processes. Of course, it is not that we are not going to replace them with the automation, but of course, in some cases that is also makes sense. But we would like to reduce the cost by using the assets which are in our yard and potentially using the assigning the assets, the value added services. For example, we can provide services based on our assets which are in our yard and charge them. And also you can see below there are some KPIs which we have in our projects. Earlier we have done a lot of projects where we have this good amount of increase in the efficiency and productivity, also faster gate in and gate out processes. Of course, yes, at the gate we can make it or break it. So gate operations plays a major role. And these are just a number. Of course, this can vary based on the yard, and this can also vary based on the cost structure. And it is highly dependent upon the yard, but we will be able to achieve these kind of KPIs. So now quickly I would like to explain a bit about the portfolio of Westernacher. So also George is going to explain much deep into our portfolio, but I would like to give a short notice of this. So you can see that on the topmost right corner, you have SAP Yard Logistics for S4HANA. So this is the standard SAP system where you will have various functionalities and a lot of capabilities in yard space. So it is able to manage complex and automated yards. If you have multimodal or hardware integrated, that means you can have trucks, rail cars, or vessel scenarios in your yard. And if you have, for example, a chemical yard can have a lot of integrations, hardware integrations for inspection, loading, unloading. So yard logistics is the playing ground for all these activities. And it is also having dock appointments scheduled for the carrier to be able to book slots. And in the top right corner, you can see business network for logistics gate operations. So this is just for gate operations. It's not mainly created for yard operations. So it will give very simple gate operations. And below two, you can see VR, V-slot, and V-check-in. These two boxes are our Westernacher solutions or products, which were developed in order to answer the requirements from the customers. So VR is the tool today we are going to discuss and which we are launching right now. So VR is a comprehensive yard management system which is able to manage manual and simple yards. Of course, we discussed about an example about warehouse which is having 25, 30, 40 doors and having 150 trucks moving in and out. So in such cases, VR is very helpful. Also, of course, it can be extended to yards which are having thousands of trucks which are coming in, and also it can handle multiple couple of doors. Such kind of yards are also can be handled by VR. Because since we are in its current version, having dedicated functionalities and capabilities of the trucking yards, so it is mainly focusing on trucking yards. Of course, a simple rail car operations also can be handled through V Yard. And coming to the V slot, so this is, the name itself says that it's a dock appointment scheduling tool where carriers can able to book their slots and do their processes at the gate. And V check-in is the application. This is used for the driver as well as the gate agent to do the self-registration, and driver can do his own self-registration by himself. Also, gate agent can also help him in order to process the gate operations. So these are all SAP based. Of course, the top two are the SAP inbuilt products, but the bottom two are also SAP based, but they are our own products. So I have already discussed that we have a lot of manual operations that as of now, most of the people are doing. So they are all manual and paper and Excel based, and they are very organizational. But our vision is to move them to the topmost holistic yard where we will have fully automated, fully integrated to IoT, and then having artificial intelligence also integrated to it, so that we can reduce the handling time, which will make our lives as easy as possible, as well as the workforce life as easy as possible. So this is the relevance why we need yard management in our space, and this is our portfolio. So now our colleague George will explain you in more detail about VR and its capabilities and functionalities. Over to you, George. Thanks.
Hi everyone. We have heard from Teresa what are the common challenges and why VR matters. Now we will go to the details of VR. Going to the solution overview slide. Yes, VR is built on three key building blocks that work seamlessly together. Number one is yard planning. Number two is gate operations. Number three is yard execution. It all starts with yard planning, the most important step. Before any execution happens on the ground, VR allows you to plan and pre-arrange your yard activities in advance. This gives full visibility and control over what's about to happen, helping to avoid surprises and ensure smooth operations. Planning is not just an option, it's a core feature and prerequisite of VR, ensuring that the execution on the ground follows a well-prepared plan. Let's walk through each block step by step and explore its benefits. Yard planning is the first block. So as a yard planner, one of my key responsibilities is to know which vehicles visits are expected in the coming days or weeks. With VR, I get the full visibility right in my fingertips. I can easily see which trucks are scheduled to arrive and what their purpose is, whether they are coming for loading, unloading, dropping a trailer, or a hooking one. We have designed the system to reflect the most common yard operations, but it's also flexible. If your business needs additional or specific processes, those can be configured too. What's even more important is that this planning process is largely automated thanks to the seamless integration with systems like ECC, S4HANA, or transportation management. The basic transportation or order planning data is automatically transferred to VR. This means the system itself starts with the yard planning process. No need for the yard planner to manually check or predict what's coming in the next days or weeks. And here is a real benefit. The integration not only saves time, but also reduces cost because the system does the forecasting and planning work in the background, allowing the planner to focus on exceptions or value-added tasks rather than routine checks. For the business benefits, yes, the key business benefit of the yard planning is the full visibility of all expected vehicle arrivals well in advance. As a planner, this means I can see exactly what's coming before it happens. This level of transparency is not limited to yard alone. It also provides insight into the expected workload for related areas like warehouse. What makes this powerful is that the system actively monitors and informs me if any exceptions or deviations are expected, such as delays or changes in the arrival times, so I can respond proactively. But why is this planning so important? Because the goal is to balance and smooth out vehicle arrivals across the day, avoiding situations where too many trucks arrive at once, leading to bottlenecks and overutilization, or perhaps too few arrive, resulting in idle resources and underutilization. With this automated and integrated planning, VR helps to optimize yard capacity, reducing waiting times, and improve the overall efficiency, ultimately supporting cost savings and better service levels. Moving to the next block, which is the gate operation, this is where the real execution begins, right at the gate. Imagine I am the yard supervisor, or maybe the gate operator, or even someone sitting at the reception desk. My top priority is to have a clear, real-time overview of every truck and trailer entering and leaving the yard. With VR, this becomes simple and fully transparent. I can monitor the actual time of arrival and actual time of departure, giving me continuous tracking of every vehicle that's on site from check-in to check-out. But that's not all. At the final stage, before the truck leaves the yard, I want to be absolutely certain that everything is in order. All documents are printed, all safety and quality checks are completed, and every necessary controls performed at the gate. Even at the moment of check-in, the system does far more than just record an entry. It helps me guide the vehicle to the correct area or location inside the yard, whether that's parking lot or a warehouse door or any other operational zone. These routing instructions are generally generated automatically by VR based on the process and the specific needs of the vehicle. This is not only about operational ease, it also fulfills legal and internal compliance requirements. So I have a complete digital record of all the vehicle movements without the risk of missing a step. Let's see what are the real value the gate operation block brings. We have increased the gate throughput and reduced the delays right at the yard's entry and exit points. Traditionally, the gate has been a major bottleneck where traffic jams and inefficiencies happen. But with this digital system-driven process in place, instead of manual checks, gate operations are now faster, smoother, and far more efficient. Let's go to the final block, which is a yard execution. Earlier, we spoke about different visit types and as a part of the planning block. And here is where all that careful planning comes to life during yard execution. As a yard planner, I don't just plan visits. I also define the sequence of activities that should happen based on the purpose of each visit. For example, is the vehicle arriving to deliver something or to pick up a cargo? Based on that, the system lays out a clear pre-planned list of actions that will guide the execution process. And What's great is every single action that happens in the yard is automatically logged by the system. Let's say a truck arrives to unload goods and stays for a few hours. The system records every step from arrival, parking, unloading, inspection, all the way to departure. Nothing gets missed. And what does this give me as a planner or supervisor? A complete real-time overview of yard activities, insights into where bottlenecks or delays are incurring, ability to react and adjust proactively before small issues becomes a bigger problem. It's not just about seeing what's happening now. The system helps me prepare for the future improvements by showing where the processes can be streamlined. Plus, the system can automatically suggest and trigger follow-up tasks based on certain statuses. For example, if a checklist indicates the vehicle needs a cleaning, the system prompts that. If a reefer container needs to be plugged in, the system reminds the staff. No manual notes, no forgotten task. It's all automated and driven by real-time data. Let's see the business benefits of yard execution block. Looking into what value it brings, a complete paperless operation, real-time tracking of all the vehicle movements and yard activities, system-driven processes where the planner controls and coordinates everything from a single point, and tasks are automatically sent to the right people in the yard. And because the process sequence is optimized by the system, we eliminate unnecessary movements, reduce the manual effort, and avoid inefficiencies that happens when you rely on paper or verbal instructions. Now, let's move to the most exciting part of today's webinar, the system demonstration. I am really looking forward to unveiling this for you. In this slide, you will see the step-by-step overview of loading process of a haulage truck. Here is what the process looks like. Starting with the visit registration, a visit request gets created in VR directly from Transportation Management or ECC, setting the starting point of yard operations. Then the haulage truck arrives at the yard gate and gets checked in. The truck goes through the standard inspection process to ensure compliance and safety. Once the inspection is clear, the truck is guided to the loading door or bay. The cargo is carefully loaded onto the truck as per the loading operational plan. Once it's loaded, the loaded truck proceeds to the weighing area for accurate weight measurement. Before the departure, all the necessary documents like gate passes or loading slips are printed. And finally, the truck exits the yard, completing the loading process. Now we have covered the concepts. Let's dive into the system demo. Let's see what WE Yard in action. Yes, so what you see here is the familiar SAP environment. So as with any SAP user, these applications are accessed through Fiori Launchpad. So these are having different statuses like loading, unloading, visits, the processes itself. So we are going through the first application, and we see all the reports of with this you can instantly see the complete list of vehicles, which ones are expected, which are currently inside, and which have finished their tasks and left. You can see different statuses like planned visits, which means this truck is planned to enter, and active means which is already inside the yard, and completed means already departed. So it gives the full visibility. Moving to the second application, the product application. This shows all the products currently inside the yard, their actual exact locations, their quantities available, the details of upcoming products. And this helps in planning and managing the space efficiently and ensuring you always know what inventory is present in the yard at any moment. Going to the next application, monitor actions. This application tracks and reports all the actions linked to the yard operations. And SAP provides a proven and user-friendly experience through tools like personal object work list and queries, which can be easily tailored to meet your specific process. And finally, the most critical part of the application, the heart of yard execution, which is the process visit application. You can select any vehicle visit here, view all the tasks that are linked to that visit in the right hand side. Also, there is a possibility to create visits manually if it's not generated through ECC or transportation management. So this is how we create manually, selecting the yard, the visit type, different types of truck, tipper, tanker, haulage. For the demo purpose, we'll select a visit that is already created using ECC. When opening it, we have seen a haulage truck, which we can see its vehicle ID, driver details, planned tasks, the life cycle status with a planned status, and meaning the truck hasn't arrived yet. And once it arrives, the status changes to active. And you can see a processing status, arrival. And it's got inspected. And once it is, there is also a possibility to change the destination bin or door. In case if there is any deviation, system is capable of doing that. When it reaches to the loading area, system allows us to record the exact quantity, how much it has been loaded during that loading. So example, 3 tons of cargo. So we can see the products which is inside that has been loaded during that moment, exact details of it. Also, we can see the loading reference, which it can be shipment details, serving it as a proof. And also, once it is loaded, we can update the seal number, the time when it was sealed. And weighing out. So truck moves to the weighing, and the system, we can see, we can print the documents. This acts as a proof because it's loading quantity and other shipment details. It always serves as a proof. And finally, you can view the complete activity log in the message tab, capturing all the events performed during the visit. And additional notes or checklist items can be also added for this specific visit for future references or audits. So once all the tasks are completed, by performing the departure, you can see the life cycle status is completed and the truck has departed. So it marks the end of the process. So in summary, this application covers every stage of yard operations, offering the full visibility and control. This is how we make yard operations not just smarter, but simpler. The entire application has been developed with the end user in mind, fully optimized for mobile app operations. Every screen you have seen so far is specifically designed to be user-friendly on mobile devices. Now let's move to the Q&A session. Over to you, Bilal.
Thank you so much, George, for that insightful session. So let's begin with some important questions that we have received from the audience. So the first question is, what are the implementation options for WE Yard and what is the approach? So may I request one of the speakers to please take it up?
Yes, let me take it up. So the implementation options, implementation itself doesn't take too much of time. So we have 2 approaches over here. One is starter package, another one is custom package. So in starter package, we will have all the standard capabilities and functionalities of WE Yard. Okay, and then when we are installing this WE Yard into our SAP environment, we will be able to integrate it with ECC, S4HANA, TM, and EWM. And coming to the starter package timeline, it will take 10 to 12 weeks in order to do the implementation. But it comes to the custom package, of course, definitely it will depend upon the customer and the yard infrastructure and everything. It may take couple of weeks. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Teresa, for answering that question. The next question is, can the system handle multiple yards or locations at the same time?
A good question. I can answer that. Yes, it can. The system is built to manage more than one yard at the same time. And you can set up each location separately, but still see and control everything from one place.
Perfect. Thank you so much, George. And we have one more last question. So what happens if there's an exception, like a delayed truck or a failed inspection, and how does the system handle it?
I can answer that too. Yes, the system can handle exceptions based on any deviation from the planned processes like delay, inspection failure, or missed task. The system will flag it automatically. This helps user to take right actions quickly, whether it's rescheduling or rerouting.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. So these were some of the questions that we have received throughout this session. So before we conclude, we encourage you to stay connected with us. And if you have any further questions or would like to explore a demo or need support with your digital supply chain transformation, please feel free to reach out through us through our website and or connect with us on LinkedIn. We have our details mentioned on the slide, as you can see on your screen. So thank you once again to all our speakers for telling exceptionally well about yard management and explaining WE Yard capabilities to all of our attendees today, and to everyone who joined us. We hope that you found this session useful and insightful. We will also be sharing the webinar recording with you shortly. So once again, thank you everyone and have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.